too much based on the comments that we've heard, the back and forth around the ceasefire, the blockade at the Strait of Hormuz by the US president. All of that still continues to be at play as earlier, but stock markets are not reacting in a very volatile manner. If you take a look at the US markets, yes, they've ended in the red, but the cuts have not been very dramatic. You've seen about a 0.2% cut on the S&P and Nasdaq, and Dow is absolutely flat. In fact, Nasdaq has snapped its 13-day consecutive winning streak. It's the longest streak that the index saw since 1992. So that has been snapped. But if you take a look at the broader end of the market in the US, the Russell 2000, the small cap index, that saw a fresh record high for itself, and that was up more than 0.5%. So a fresh intraday high and fresh record high for the Russell 2K. Let's talk about what the stock futures are doing. While the equity markets were down, the US stock futures are doing pretty decently for themselves as we speak. In fact, the Dow futures are up more than 100 points. So maybe on the back of the trip that JD Vance is making to Pakistan, maybe there are hopes riding on that, and that is reflecting in the futures in the US market. The US VIX spiked 8% higher to 18.8, and the US 10-year is now at 4.25%. Little bit of a spike there, very nominal if you can see that. The other big update came in from Apple, wherein Tim Cook stepped down as Apple CEO, and he's replaced by John Ternus, and Cook will continue to be executive chairman of the company. So that's a roundup of everything to watch out for from the US. Let's shift focus, talk about Europe. Deep cuts were seen across Europe. Stock 600 was lower by about 0.8%. DAX and CAC both saw cuts of more than 1.1% each. FTSE was lower by about 0.5%. So that's everything to watch out for in Europe. Let's shift focus to Asia and talk about how the markets have opened this morning. Largely mixed open this morning. Nikkei doing wonderfully well for itself. Another 1.3% uptick on the index after seeing a 1% gain yesterday. Hang Seng also flat, holding in the green. On the flip side, Shanghai nominally under pressure, 0.3% cut over there. Australia is absolutely flat as we speak. While that was the equity handover, let's talk about what the commodities are up to. And Brent has cooled off after spiking more than 5%, and it had crossed that $96 per barrel mark. It's now at 95. A little, in fact, a significant cool off coming in for Brent compared to the percentage move that we saw yesterday. On the flip side, WTI also seeing a little bit of a cool off coming in. 86.6 is where WTI is at. Gold absolutely flat right now at 4,830. Silver nominally under pressure at $79.4. Let's shift focus and now talk about some important global comments that we've been tracking. Of course, there's fresh comments coming in from Donald Trump, wherein he says that the ceasefire expired Wednesday evening Washington time, so that's going to expire. And he's saying that Vance will leave for Pakistan later on Monday. Iran truce extension is unlikely. Hormuz blockade will be in place, and he will not be opening the Strait of Hormuz until the deal is signed. The new deal will ensure peace, security for Israel, the region, Europe and US. So that's the word coming in from Donald Trump. Let's shift focus and take a look at what Iran has responded to that. Iranian Parliament Speaker Mohammad Ghalibaf says that Trump, by imposing a siege and violating the ceasefire, he seeks to turn this negotiating table in his own imagination into a table of surrender to justify renewed war-mongering. He says Iran does not accept this negotiation under the shadow of threats, and in the past 2 weeks, they have prepared to reveal new cards on the battlefield. That is a comment that you should be watching out for. Lastly, let's also talk about some central bank action coming in. Yesterday, we spoke about the Fed view. Let's talk about the ECB view. European Central Bank today, Christine Lagarde, who's the president, says that so far, they have not seen energy prices rise far enough to push them into an adverse scenario. But they say that the duration of the shock and the breadth of the pass-through argues for gathering more information before drawing a firm conclusion on their monetary policy. So her comments suggest that the ECB policy meet on April 30 will largely see no change to their stance or to the policy rate. That is what we're gathering in terms of global equity, commodities, as well as global comments. Handover back to you.
Right, okay, we'll pick it up from there. The GIFT Nifty right now indicating a mild